actually about 6 or 7 miles south of the city. We are on State Route 10 and we are heading to Annapolis. So it's about 9:30 in the morning and we are going to be touring the Naval Academy later today and just kind of checking out Annapolis, which is also the state capital of Maryland. So we decided not to take 95 or 97 this morning, and we're taking State Route 10, which when we get to Smyrna, we'll then jump on State Route 2, which will take us right into Annapolis. And I think this is a very nice way to travel, a lot less stress. All right, we've just arrived here in Annapolis, and we ended up parking at the Noah Hillman garage. There are many garages around town, and it was real easy. They have a QR code there as you pull in. You just pay. We just paid with our phone with Apple Pay. It was easy. And so we're right in downtown. So here is the Annapolis City Hall. We are now heading to the Maryland State House, which is about a 5-minute walk from where we parked. 12 delegates from 5 states met in 1786 to discuss commercial problems of the new nation. Huh. And they met here. Yeah, well, they met to work on the Constitution. Who knew? Here is a great view of Main Street. And over there you can see the tip of the State House. That's where we're heading over now. But then, then you go down here and there's to the city dock and by the entrance to the Naval Academy. So we'll head down there next. Here is the Maryland State House. They seem to be doing some construction over here. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning and it's pretty quiet. Here's the Capitol Hotel. So here is the front of the Maryland State House. We will go in here in just a minute. But we're basically on top of a hill. This is just quite gorgeous up here. It's actually nice and cool. Joe found a cannon. Where's it from?
England.
Wow. Here's a good shot here of the State House building up on the hill. Okay, so we found the front entrance. So we have to go in through the pedestrian entrance because we're not DOD personnel. So we'll come in here. And we're heading actually for the visitor center. And this entrance was named after Commodore John Barry, who was Commission number 1 in the United States Navy. So we're here at the Visitor Center, and they have a section here where they're talking about the MIA and the legal wives. And they show an article from the Virginian pilot that was written in 1973. But we can't tell who had the byline. So here is Bill the goat. Yep, Bill the goat.
Here they have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It is 25 meters wide by 50 meters long by 8 feet deep in all places. This is the Marine Corps person's house here. He's happy to let you know that he's in the Marine Corps. On his front porch, there in the center, there are 4 international flags that spell out USMC.
Oh, somebody's moving it around.
Building here, this is named Carter Hall after Jimmy Carter, class of 1947. He was a submariner. And
Yep.
so this was renamed just 2 months ago, at the beginning of the, actually in late spring. It was renamed for him. And since his health was not good, his great-grandson came up for the festivities. But it was quite a deal to have it named in honor of him. Right now they're doing the, they're redoing the facing of these buildings because it's summertime and mortar and other things that need to be patched. It's being worked on right now. Want to become a naval aviator? And they say, I think I want to be a naval aviator, I want to try it out. During the summer, they will, rather than, you don't get to really go home, you go home for about a week, do some laundry. Then you go out to the fleet to work with the professional. This is an A4 attack. The A in front means it's an attack craft. This is vintage 1950s, 1960s. This is the kind of airplane that John McCain would have flown. It's, you can take off and land from both ground stations as well as aircraft carriers. His tail hook, the white piece there, is down right now, but this was the type that you can launch from an aircraft carrier. So 1950s, 1960s era. They called it A4. One of the fun things is if you also still want to be a pilot, they'll put you in something called the Dilbert Dunker. They put you in a cage, not so much lock you in, but they latch you in a cage above a big vat of water, a big tank. And then they slam the cage down into the water and they flip it over twice. This is to simulate crashing in the ocean. All you have to do as a pilot is, first of all, don't die. While you're at it, hold your breath.
Yep.
Third, figure out the way out, and then figure out the way up. Tomcat on it. But the other one has the history of this particular platform. And so when it was first put into service, last flight, number of hours it's it logged in the air, how many catapults, how many traps, on board ship. And so just good stuff. Coming up on your right, this black headstone is to Arleigh Burke. The Burke class of destroyers, 4-star admiral, loved by everybody. Really sailor kind of guy. And so his inscription here on both he and his wife are buried here. And it says Admiral Arleigh A. Burke, sailor. And then it goes down a little bit, Roberta G. Burke, sailor's wife. And they both lived up into their 90s.
Yeah.
And so they're buried right here. War in Vietnam, senator from Arizona. And he's buried next to his buddy, Admiral Larson. McCain and Larson were roommates in Navy flight school back in 1959. And they remained friends their entire careers. Larson was a pilot, and then he went into the submarine service. Of course, McCain was a pilot, shot down. When he got released, the Navy conferred upon him the rank captain, which means that he didn't have enough rank to be buried here. Larson was a superintendent at the time. He was 4 stars, and he calls up McCain. He says, I'm dying. I've got leukemia, and I've got a couple spots up here at the Naval Academy graveyard. Would you mind being buried next to me when you die?
Oh, wow.
And McCain says, yeah, I think I'd like that. And so here they are, the old 2 roommates next to each other, and spots for their wives. Their wives, of course, are still with us. But and you see in McCain's grave, there are lots of different things. People have stones, insignia, and also the coins. There is a military tradition that if you go to a military grave, you might see a penny, a nickel, a dime, or a quarter. A visitor will put the penny down as a sign of respect. I visited you, I see you, I'm putting down a penny, but although I never knew you. You put down a nickel if you met this person in basic training. when you're both starting out in military careers. You put down a dime if you spend a stretch 3 or 4 year assignment thing, in service along with the person. You put down a quarter if you were there the day they died. And so you're going to see those on military graves all over around the world, particularly in the United States, not in Arlington. Definitely you would see something like that here, as a matter of course. And so this is Michelson Hall. That's Chauvenet, the math building. This is the track and field on your left. These are fields that were through our dredging of the Annapolis Harbor were filled in. And so your soccer field, your lacrosse fields are all filled from the 1920s through the 1950s. So the rooms go by your rank. So if you're a firstie, you get first choice of the rooms. Some of them take the high up rooms because you get a knockout view. The second class gets your next choice. Your youngsters get the third choice. And if you're a plebe, the word choice isn't part of your vocabulary. You don't have to worry about where you're going to be sleeping. They will let you know. Normally you would see midshipmen, the plebes are out here being taught by the firsties. And so they take them out onto the river and teach them how to sail. These are your 26-footers. We've got 44-footers, the blue ones over here, for the more skilled sailor. So this is the Navy. Of course you're going to learn how to sail.
This is the main Naval Academy chapel. And these are some plebes. We're here in July, and it's plebe summer, where the incoming class spends her summer. So almost every single building here in Annapolis has this plaque for the National Historic District. And it seems like most of these buildings were built in the 1700s. And they're all very well kept up. And the restoration is just impeccable. So this is the Naval Academy football stadium. And it looks like today it's a soccer facility. So here is Alumni Arch. Okay, and Joe has confirmed that this is grass-like turf. Go Navy, beat Army. We are now leaving Annapolis, heading home. We're actually going to take the Eastern Shore route because we like to avoid 95 as often as we can. And there's a lot of construction going on near the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel where we live. And so now we are approaching the Bay Bridge.
Kind of unusual for a bridge.
Now this is a toll road. It is a toll. If you have a Easy Pass, then the toll is $2.50. If you're doing a mail in by your plate, that toll is $6. Tunnel, which connects the eastern shore of Virginia to Virginia Beach. And right here you'll see a tanker, which I assume is heading into the port of Virginia, which is in Portsmouth, Virginia. This combination of bridges and tunnels that connect the eastern shore to the mainland of Virginia is about 17.5 miles long. And now we are getting ready to enter the first tunnel. Yeah, it's a pretty big tanker.
That cargo ship looks like it went right over where the tunnel was.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to go into